Live from the News Hub here in Accra. This is News 360 from the home of news. My name is Issa Moni.
And I'm Natalie Force. A look at the top stories this evening.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
18 perish in 3-vehicle motor accident on Techiman Tamale Highway.
Cocoa farmers in Achim in the Doma municipality of Brunafo region are living in abject poverty.
Also ahead this evening, Minister of Food and Agriculture says sale of land to estate developers will not affect availability of land for crop production.
At entertainment, late Ebony Rains wins 4 posthumous music awards, including Artist of the Year at the 19th Vodafone Ghana Music Awards.
And on the international front, Uganda has agreed to accept Eritrean and Sudanese refugees denied asylum in Israel. You've got the details of these stories, including news from the world of sports. This bulletin is streaming live all across the world on 3news.com as well as TV3 Ghana on Facebook. In our very first story this evening, 18 people, including 2 drivers, died in an accident involving 3 vehicles on the Techiman Tamale Highway at dawn. 70 passengers are injured and currently on admission at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. Police sources say the accident occurred on April 15 at about 1:42 a.m. on the Yape-Bupe stretch of the Tamale-Kumasi Highway.
The police say the motor accident involved a Neoplan bus with 70 passengers on board, a U-turn passenger bus traveling from Nalerugu to Ijura, and a cargo bus. On reaching a section of the road at Yape Yipala in a curve on the Tamale Techiman Highway, the Neoplan bus attempted to overtake a cargo vehicle ahead of him and collided with the oncoming U-turn bus. The drivers of both vehicles, with registration numbers GW2659T and GM538312, died in the crash. TV3 gathers the injured have been sent to the Tamale Teaching Hospital for treatment.
And ASP Yusuf Tanko is the Northern Regional Police PRO. He has joined us on the phone. Good evening, Chief, and thank you for agreeing to speak to us.
You're welcome, my brother.
Right. Can you confirm the death toll now? And do we know how this gruesome accident happened?
Yeah, good evening to you and good evening to your viewers as well. Yeah, I can confirm to you that so far 18 persons have been confirmed dead, and about 70 others are receiving treatment at the Tamale Teaching Hospital.
All right, so what is the condition of the 70 people? Are they seriously injured?
Yeah, they are very serious. Some are very serious, others too are somehow manageable, but they are responding to treatment.
Can you share with us how the accident happened? How did it occur?
Yeah, the information that we've received so far is that this vehicle, that is a Neoplan bus, was traveling from Nalerugu to Kumasi, and the 2 other buses were also traveling from Kumasi to Boko. So somewhere around Yipala, this Neoplan bus that was coming from Nalerugu tried to overtake a vehicle on a curve. So it ended up colliding with these 2 vehicles that were also coming from the Kumasi direction. And that is where we had about 16 persons died on the spot. And then 2 others died later in the hospital.
So do you know if there are enough road signs on that stretch of road to advise drivers, or it was just sheer carelessness that caused this accident?
You see, the Tamale Yape road is one of the best roads in the country as of now. And there are enough road signs to warn oncoming drivers. But mostly the road is quiet. There's no too many vehicles plying that road. And so some drivers take it for granted that even on a curve, they can overtake and they will not meet an oncoming vehicle. Maybe that is what deceived this particular driver. The report that I gave you is the preliminary one. The investigators are on it. They are trying to find out exactly what happened. And if that one is known, we will make that one known to you as well.
Do you know if the drivers are alive?
Now, 2 drivers died on the spot.
All right, ASP Yusuf Tanko, we are grateful for your time and for your explanation. Yusuf Tanko is the Northern Regional Police PRO.
On to other stories now. The former Minister of Roads and Highways and MP for Tamale Central, Inusaf Hussaini, says it is a misconception for anyone to allege that some MPs who served as ministers in the erstwhile Mahama administration received double salaries. Speaking on New Day, Inusaf Hussaini, who is an MP who was invited by the CID over the double salaries issue, maintained that the allegations are untrue.
The whole argument of whether or not MPs who were ministers under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's government received double salary is actually a question of law. Because the whole salary arrangement and the determination of salaries of MPs and ministers is captured in Article 71.
Right.
Article 71 has 3 provisions. The provision 71(1) actually talks about the salaries of Speaker, Deputy Speakers, Members of Parliament, and all those
Chief
coming
Justice,
there,
other justices,
whose salaries shall be approved upon the setting up of a committee by the President of members of not more than 5.
The definition given to salaries under 71(3), if that is applied,
yes,
the question is, did you take double of that?
So the question now one will have to ask is, when was the salary of MPs determined such that they took double of that salary?
But they were taking salaries nonetheless.
No, so we come. So that's the misconception. It's a fundamental misconception. You say your salary is only determined upon the setting up of a committee by His Excellency the President. Until the setting up is done, myself and Obi Amwa as MPs are taking advance payments, payment on account. It is this government that paid the salary arrears. It is this government that paid the retirement benefits. It is this government that was enjoined to reconcile whatever payments had been made to previous Article 71 office holders and the entitlements that was due them.
And 6,000 cocoa farmers under Nyonkopa Cocoa Scheme have been enrolled in an insurance scheme to secure their future. The Life Scheme combines pension, funeral package and educational support for children of cocoa farmers. Here's a report by Benjamin Edu.
The Nyonkopa Cocoa Scheme has over the years trained farmers in good agronomic practices to produce certified cocoa beans and provide entrepreneurial skills to help to improve the lives of cocoa farmers. The insurance cover is also aimed at aiding cocoa farmers in the event of unexpected eventualities. All farmers operating under the Nyonkopa Cocoa Scheme qualify for membership of the scheme, which serves as motivation to produce certified cocoa beans. At a Durban in the Bono-Ahafo region to present premiums to the farmers, the head of the company's sustainability programs in Ghana, Robert Asugri, reiterated his commitment that the scheme will lift thousands of cocoa farmers from poverty by the year 2025. Some community development initiatives include community water system, community street lights, household solar lamps, and teaching materials support.
The current state of the cocoa industry is that we have a lot of challenges, but together we are supporting the government to overcome that. We have a lot of old trees. The soil is also not fertile in most areas. We also have a lot of youth who are not interested in cocoa because of the conditions of current farmers and past farmers. So that is why we brought sustainability. In fact, if the industry was that robust, there was no need for sustainability. So we are all partnering with all the relevant stakeholders to sustain the industry through this training program, through community development projects, and through partnership on social interventions.
The Sunafo North Municipal Chief Executive, Yao Boahin, commended the business for contributing to the development of the area. He reassured cocoa farmers of government's support to increase cocoa production in the country.
If you decide, oh, there's gold here, let me sell my farm to Galamsey people. Fine, they will buy. You get enough money within a short time. And if you don't take care, within a short time, the money will just get exhausted. And you see that your farm too is also gone. And therefore, the people will just come and destroy the environment for you. The little water that river bodies that you'll be relying on will also be gone in a jiffy. So at least they need constant education.
Let's stay on agriculture, as the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has dismissed claims that the sale of land to estates developers will affect the availability of land for crop cultivation. The comment comes on the back of fears that the rapid sale of land to estate developers is a threat to the sustenance of crop cultivation in the country. This was made known at this year's Feed the Future Agricultural Technology Transfer Project.
This year's Feed the Future Agriculture Technology Transfer Project was under the theme, The State of Soil Fertility in Northern Ghana, Fertilizer Recommendation, Utilization and Farm Access. The program brought together stakeholders in the agriculture sector to deliberate on how soil fertility, especially in the northern part of Ghana, will be improved to aid food production. Speaking at the event, a director at the Crop Directorate at the Ministry of Agriculture, Seth Oseakoto, assured Ghanaians there is enough arable land to aid vigorous food cultivation in the country.
You have a lot of arable lands that can be used for the cultivation of the selected crops under the Planting for Food and Jobs.
On her part, the team leader at the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, Jenna Tachman-Trophim, indicated that her outfit will work to drive more youth into agribusiness.
Helping them see that agriculture is a business, it can be profitable, and that it's worth their time and their energy to be participating in agriculture and in agribusiness.
And 2 Nigerian tanker vessels have been arrested at Gbom in Ghana territorial waters by the Ghana Naval Command. The vessels were arrested for following alleged fuel smuggling activities.
The Ghana Navy has arrested 2 Nigerian vessels, the MT Mami Mary and Matrix 1, which were engaged in illegal oil bunkering around Gbom in Ghana's waters. The Ghana Navy said subsequent intelligence and operations led to the arrest of the 2 vessels, which are currently berthed at the Tema main harbour. The Chief Staff Officer at Ghana Navy Headquarters, Commodore Issa Yakubu, said the total number of sailors on board the MT Mamat Mary were 11 Nigerian nationals. He said the vessels were arrested at 4:20 p.m. Saturday and brought to the anchorage for the law to take its course. Acting CEO of the National Ports Authority, Hassan Tampuli, said investigations have already begun to ascertain whether the vessels had acquired license to operate in Ghanaian waters or otherwise. He said oil samples taken from the vessels will be sent to Tema Oil Refinery to determine its actual content. Hassan Tampuli said initial investigations revealed that the vessel is carrying 320 metric tons of fuel.
A 20-year-old suspect has been arrested by the Combat 8 patrol team for impersonating military personnel. 7 more persons have also been detained for belonging to a suspicious army group in connection with the alleged impersonator. Police reports said the combat patrol team and a presidential duty guard at Peduase saw the suspect Abdul Rashid Mohammed in military uniform loitering around at about 11:40 a.m. on Saturday, April 14, 2018. The Combat 8th Patrol Team from Accra and the guard duty personnel at the Peduase Lodge became suspicious of his movements. Upon interrogation, he admitted impersonating and said he works at the parcel department of the VIP transport company, adding that the uniform was given to him by one Soa. He was arrested and sent to the Ibri police station and detained for further investigation and interrogation. The Eastern Regional Police PRO ASP Ebenezer Tete said a few minutes later, some group of boys numbering 7 in army green t-shirts and long boots, including, said Soa reported at the Ibri police station. Upon interrogation, the team said the suspect was their leader who formed their group known as United Army. All 8 are in police custody for further investigations.
Now, it is one of Accra's largest flood-prone areas. Residents have lost their lives to flooding during heavy rain periods. I'm talking about Latibia Kashi in Accra. On their part, residents have put the necessary measures in place to prevent flooding this season. However, it appears residents will again experience flooding during the next rains if local authorities do not give them the needed attention.
I'm here at Latibia Kashi for a period of 20 years now. So the problem we are having is especially this river. Whether it's river or gutter, we don't know. But when it rains, we can't sleep here. Look at the house. The whole house is full up with water. So if you could see, there's a caterpillar there. Just yesterday, they brought it. I don't know who brought it. But what they are supposed to do, they are supposed to dip really into the gutter to bring the sand outside. But they rather expand it. So when it rains, it comes more. We don't know what to do. Kids are man here. The man went in, that is the end of him.
For 3 days, this major gutter, which appears to be the cause of the floods in the area, is being dredged to help solve the situation. Elsewhere, this would come as a sigh of relief for residents here, as they have for years wallowed in floods. However, residents no longer believe in these signs. Apparently, this isn't the first time such a dredging exercise has been conducted here.
When they brought the contractor, she brought machines to start the work. So when they were about to start the work, the machine sank into the sand, so it cannot move it again. Then they were able to manage and come and let the contractors out. So when they finish, that's the end of it. They don't come here again. Up till now. The only what they do is an annual listing. When it's getting to raining time, we at times force the assemblymen. They will organize for a tractor to come and clear inside so that whenever it rains, the water can get chance and flow.
The story here at Latibia Kashi is not different from that of other flood-prone areas in the capital. Residents here are even fortunate to have excavators desilting this particular gutter at least twice every year. But the situation persists. The question is, why?
Whenever it rains, you see things will come from other sources. You see this gutter is from Tankasi line. It joins it here. There's another one there. There's another one there. So all the gutters from other sides join this one.
Esie wa ha se gutter no mu tu boiler na edugum se boiler na wo ho no afi so mu ko toilet gu ha e ho no be wanyu be do no mu janja no mu ko toilet gu ho sa no problem ye face wa ha no ko kan de o mu de be ye wa ha.
A waste collection bin has been made available for residents to dump their refuse into. Clearly, this is not entirely an issue of poor sanitation in the area. The Ghana Meteorological Agency has predicted that the southern sector will experience more rains this year as compared to the previous years. we saw some youth in the area who were putting their house in order to prevent flooding during the rains.
Now, inside no, I stop it, flow.
Drains from the gutter enter our homes whenever it rains, so we are fixing a pipe from our home to the gutter, giving it a different direction.
It is not clear if this would save residents, as previous attempts have failed. Clearly, the best solution is for this major drain to be fixed.
Right, you're on News 360, and we'll return shortly with some more stories from last night's events at the 19th Ghana Vodafone Awards. But before you do that, absolutely clear your areas to avoid things from other sources coming to your area before the rains set in. You're watching News 360. We'll be back. Hello again. We are back with all the stories from last night's VGMA Awards. History was made at the 19th VGMA as the late dancehall diva Ebony Rains posthumously won Artist of the Year. Ebony thus becomes the first female musician to win the topmost honors in the 19th year history of the awards. Also, Rai walks us through Ebony's journey to the top.
Who do you expect to win Artist of the Year?
SAC Nation for life. Yes, straight.
SM for life.
SM for life. One is going for SAC, one is going for SM.
It's Ebony.
Ebony.
Yes.
SAC Nation.
SAC Nation.
Ebony.
Ebony. Big boss.
Ebony.
Nice one.
Stoneboy.
Stoneboy.
Ebony. Mine is Ebony.
Who is your better one?
Ebony.
Ebony.
No doubt at all.
The stakes were high ahead of the 19th Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. The late Ebony Rains enjoyed a favorite position on the prediction list of many industry gurus.
For me, I think Ebony deserves it.
I'll give it to Ebony. Come on.
And it will be also good for the awards and for the industry to appreciate the work she did before she left.
Ebony bagged 4 awards out of 6 nominations. Sponsor won the Afro Pop Song of the Year. Ebony's mother, Beatrice Opong, couldn't hold back her tears as she held her late daughter first award.
So basically, it's a very tough moment for Ebony's mom right now.
Bullet, Ebony's manager and composer of Maamishe, won Songwriter of the Year.
She'll be happy wherever she is. May her soul rest in peace. Ebony Rains forever.
The album of the year also went to the Dancehall Divas Bonafide album.
The winner is Bonafide Ebony.
Ebony again beats competition from 4 top male musicians, Sarkodie, Shatta Wale, Stoneboy, and 2017 Artist of the Year winner Joe Mettle to win the topmost honors, Artist of the Year.
Artist of the Year is very well deserved. Posthumous award to Ebony.
It was a bittersweet moment for Ebony's father, Nano Opoku Kwarteng, who wished her daughter was alive to experience her career high point.
The feeling is deep. I'm happy. I'm very happy that the Queen won this prestigious award. She's worked hard, like I said, and actually she deserves that. And I'm very happy for her and myself and my entire family.
He sees the historic feat as a result of hard work. Her mother beamed with smiles.
And it's all joy here at the Accra International Conference Center.
I feel so special today. I'm happy.
The singer's siblings and cousins couldn't hide their joy.
Your kid sister Ebony just won Artist of the Year. And how does it feel?
I'm overjoyed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm happy, I'm glad. I'm so excited right now.
Ebony is the first female musician to win the Artist of the Year award and the first to win the award posthumously. The popular dancehall diva Ebony died in a road accident on February 8 whilst returning to Accra from Sunyani after visiting her mother.
Well, great achievements there by the late Ebony Rains. Now, most patrons of the 19th Vodafone Ghana Music Award described Ebony's victory as well-deserved.
Award to Ebony.
Ebony, arguably the hardest working act of 2017. Several hits, top it up with the Bonafide album. She's done everything. Even if she were alive, she would have won it. Ebony is reigning.
Well deserved. She worked hard for it. So it is what it is. She deserves it, and that's what we want. Moving forward, we have to just do great music and come out looking strong. That's it.
The girl deserves it. She has worked hard, and it's something good. You know, first time a lady also winning it, I think it's something great.
She really worked hard for it, but it's unfortunate she didn't live to see her success.
But like previous years, the event was not without controversy. Some patrons left disappointed as a number of award verdicts came to them as big surprises.
Ebony deserves to win Artist of the Year. However, Song of the Year, I was a little bit surprised. And there were takeover from Shatta Wale, there was Patapaa.
Patapaa's One Corner was tipped by many to win the most popular song of the year, but in the end, it went to Total Cheat by Fancy Gadam.
The winner came out, I was like, wow. And again, the most popular song of the year. Hey, we don't like the song though, but Patapaa really made it and went beyond Ghana.
Fancy Gadam winning the most popular song. I think something went wrong there. Who were you expecting to win the most popular song of the year? Patapaa. But like, One Corner was all over. That is based on votes. So you can't come and stand here and say Patapaa or any other person. You have to vote. So
Councillor Detroit expected Shatta Wale to win big on the night, but that was not the case.
But I wanted Shatta Wale to win so that we'll have a living legend. That's all I wanted.
Right now, after 5 years of breaking up to pursue solo careers, hip-life group Prayer reunited at 90 VGMA, treating patrons to some good old hits. Excited to see the collapsed music group perform together, fans urged them to wage a comeback, noting positive prospects await them if they should come together.
To many, it was refreshing to see Prayer perform together after 5 years of going solo.
Have a problem. Prayer we backward and a boom. All right, so for me, that thing must be their yardstick. That must be something to prompt them. Anytime one tries to detach himself from the group, there must something that must poke the other that, you know what, hey, remember that adage.
A member of the recently reconciled group, Wuta Efiye, wants Prayer to rise above their differences and work together if they hope to get back to their glory days. Francis Doku is a celebrated showbiz pundit.
It was good. The question is this just for the performance tonight, or would they continue to be the Prayer we knew of them to be? I hope it is the latter.
In as much as people hope to see the group reunite, others perceived Prayer's performance as a camouflage.
I think that they are better together. I mean, I saw the other two, Prayer Tia and Prayer Tintin, perform at an event and I almost wept. It was so horrible. I've seen also Eugene also perform, and it wasn't like when he was part of Prayer. And we've seen them perform tonight and it was good. I think that if they're wise or if somebody will talk to them, it is better for them to be together and perform together than separate themselves.
Is Prayer really back together? Well, attempts to get answers proved unsuccessful. The group was tight-lipped.
Charlie, for everybody.
We're not allowed to talk now. We'll talk at the right time. All right.
Well, they certainly are better together than apart. But acclaimed reggae star Stonebwoy has won the Best Reggae Dancehall Artist of the Year for 4 times in a row. The singer believes the feat will put to rest the long-standing argument over who really is Ghana's best dancehall artist. Owusu Arai also spoke with other award recipients, including New Artist of the Year, Kwame Eugene.
You know what I mean? 4 times in a row, Reggae Dancehall Artist of the Year. It's well deserved because I put in the work time to time, and everything shows clearly. And you know, on paper it's clear. However you want to measure the reality, however you want to measure the truth in the fact that I have won the Reggae Dancehall Artist of the Year 4 times, 4 consecutive times. You know, it's clear. It's clear.
This has been one of the keenly contested categories. New Act of the Year, you won that category.
It's a blessing. I don't know what to say. I'm very, very emotional right now because New Artist of the Year means I've been working and I bless the fact that Ghanaians are understanding the work I put in whatever I'm doing. I thank them for supporting me. And to my brothers, Kiddy Kim Promise, Kusiata, Kel Songs, B for Bona, anyone in the category, Magnum, I just want to say, Charlie, I wish you guys well. They've been doing well, and if I need help, I will come.
So far, the progression has been very, very amazing. He picked Discovery of the Year in the 2017 Vodafone Ghana Music Award, and a year on, Fancy Gadam is still making the Northern region, and indeed the Upper East and West region very proud. Earlier on, he picked the Highlight Song of the Year with his Total Cheat, and now here's another big one. Vodafone Song of the Year, most popular song of the year. You beat one of the most popular songs that has ever been heard. Patapara Mistis, One Corner, and it was a close score. But then at the end of the day, you won.
Yeah, let me say, you know, Fancy Gadam, the song is popular. And you know, I told you already, Fancy Gadam have the most loyal fan base in the world. The most loyal fan base in the world. That's the Gadam Nation. Gadam Nation, Tukusame, Tubujwara, yeah. You must see my lawyer, Bon One Virgin, yes, man.
I just want to say big shouts to everybody who has supported this dream. Most importantly, Dr. Parkway Sindum, Dr. Kwekwindum, who believed in me and decided to pursue this dream with me. God bless you all, and everybody supporting. We are bringing you real rap. 2019 begins now. Watch out. One love. Peace.
So a lot more happened at the VGMA Awards. So let's give you some more stories from that event yesterday. 2017 sensation and One Corner hitmaker Patapaa arrived at the 19th VGMA with high hopes of winning all 2 categories he had been nominated for. The unlucky singer, however, left disappointed with no award. Here are excerpts of Owusu Rai's interview with the Sweet Rubies artist moment to the award.
If you are my fans, I'll keep watching TV3. And it's going to be fire tonight. La France Mission.
Mission.
Coco.
Most popular song of the year or Vodafone Song of the Year. That is what you have. And what is going through your mind right now?
As you know, Ankwana is trending so far, and I'm come to take the Vodafone award. I'll take it.
All right, Vodafone Song of the Year, Hip Life Song of the Year. Which one are you very optimistic of winning?
Oh, I'm going to take the Vodafone award of the year. I'm going to take, and I know I'm going to take it. La France Mission.
Oh, well, he was pretty hopeful out there. We wish him better luck next time. Now, patrons of the 19th Vodafone Ghana Music Awards have applauded organizers of the show for the coordination of security during the events. The patrons expressed complete satisfaction with security arrangements, which they say guaranteed everyone's safety.
The usual vehicular traffic that characterizes such events was absent this year. Patrons were directed to park their cars at the State House car park and walk to the venue, while VIPs and other dignitaries were chauffeured directly to the Accra International Conference Center. Amidst tight security, they were ushered through onto the red carpet, leaving no room for people without tickets to slip through. Patrons were enthused by the enhanced security measures.
I think Charterhouse does a very good job of improving with every new event they do. This whole idea of getting people to go and park at the State House parking grounds, and if they have a role to play here, being then, moved here in a limousine or in a Rolls Royce or a Bentley is fantastic, because what it's helped to do is to manage the crowd. Well, you still have those people who want to see people who are coming down, but it's manage the entrance of your stars, your musicians and your judges, and also your award presenters.
And you can see this place is also very organized.
if you don't have a ticket, you don't come closer. So people will feel secured, and then the main event will also go on smoothly. I think it's been very good.
It has evolved because, Charlie, unlike before, you see you park and you have to walk. It's a great feeling when the fans are cheering you up, but sometimes, you know, we have the negative, like people who maybe have a bad intention, trying to maybe steal you or something.
VGMA, you probably have to drive in, but now you're not driving in, you need to park your car somewhere, and the chauffeur will bring you here, and I think it's beautiful because it's really tight.
I was thinking that maybe the shuttles would have brought the VVIPs closer to the red carpet, because we have to walk all the way with our high heels and our big gowns and all that. So far, so good.
I think last year it was very tough, but this year the security, everything is in order.
Honestly, I was surprised when I got off from the main Legon Road, and there was no traffic till I got to, after the roundabout just here, and I was impressed. So I think we are growing.
VGMA 2018, according to many, was an improvement over previous years.
Definitely a great event there. I'm sure we can't wait for next year's edition. All right, News 360, and up next is Mission.
Time now for our mission segment this evening, brought to you by Star Ghana with support from UK Aid, Danida and the European Union. In our first story this evening, the Bongo District Hospital has no children's ward. Children and mothers admitted are therefore combined in one ward. Congestion is also high at wards during the peak season.
This is the Bongo District Hospital. Facilities are in quite good shape, and so it serves thousands of people. But congestion is high.
During the peak season, we get a lot of severe diarrhea, severe anemia, as well as severe malaria cases. They come very ill. If the place is filled up, the only option we have, we don't have any private hospital in the district. The only option we have is to refer the patients to the regional hospital. You write a referral for them, they pretend they are going, and then they go home. When you refer a patient, and you yourself, you realize that the tendency the patient will go, or the parents will send the patient, is very slim. It is better we have to opt to put in 2 or more patients on a bed. The only thing we do is we put similar conditions together.
There is no children's block, and so women and children share one ward.
It will be easier to combine the children with mothers than combining children with the male. That is why we are forced to bring both here until maybe up to the time we'll be able to obtain a children's ward before we can separate them.
This is a worry for health authorities.
There are times you have 2 patients pairing one bed in the hospital. It is possible that you go to the hospital with one form of ailment. You end up by contracting an additional ailment. I want to add the hospital an additional ward so that it will ease, or we will be able to separate the children from the females.
A children's block started years ago is at the roofing level. Plastered and almost ready, this will provide a congenial place for children to be attended to. But before completion, authorities are pleading for support.
We have to sit down until it is completed and handed over before we'll be thinking of finishing the place. Then that will mean that it will lie down a while not used. So our plea to government, Ghana Health Service, Minister of Health, is to consider so that when equipments are being procured, they can take Bongo Hospital into consideration, especially this children's ward.
The Bongo District Hospital's challenges are many. There is no morgue. This is what is used as a morgue. Administrators have a headache. This is what structure is used. Now, doctors here have explained that
because of the inconvenience that dead bodies might cause to patients at the various wards. When one passes on quickly, the body is transferred here to allow those patients some comfort. Of course, lying beside a dead body isn't that comfortable. And perhaps that's been misconstrued as the morgue for the facility. But let me quickly also find out. So when the body is sent here, they don't stay here for forever until the corpse is picked.
No, they only stay here briefly. For instance, a patient pass on in the ward. Most of the time, they need to inform the relatives at home. You cannot just pick the corpse and send home. So whilst the body is kept here, they made their various calls, inform the relatives or inform their various homes that this is what has happened. And when they are ready, maybe at times 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, then they come for the corpse. Those cases that will be kept in the morgue, after staying briefly here, maybe an hour or two, they might have organized transport to transfer the corpse to the mortuary in the regional hospital. There had been a few instances whereby a corpse may stay for about 1 day.
The assembly says this is bad. What we have in the Bongo District Hospital is a kiosk, a container. What we have to do quickly is to provide a mortuary facility for the hospital. As part of our plans in the utilization of the district development facility.
A very worrying situation there at the Bongo District Hospital. We'll be following up on it and bringing you more on it subsequently. But from health, let's turn to education, as lack of accommodation for teachers in communities in the Bongo District of the Upper East region is hampering efforts at improving education. Teachers commute over long distances, thereby arriving late to school. The District Assembly, with its meager resources, is only able to renovate some old structures, while a greater number of teachers continue to traverse long distances to teach.
Accommodation is a big challenge for all of us here because we are about 10 teachers in our European Junior High School, but we don't have accommodation.
They are marching to class, but for an hour or two, there will be no teacher to teach them. About 10 teachers teach here at the Yompia Junior High School. Accommodation is a challenge.
Especially the rainy season, we don't come to school early, especially when it rains. So we have to wait till the water runs over before we are able to cross with our motors. And then sometimes the teachers too, they don't even come because they find it difficult to cross the river and come.
The junior high school teachers are not only those affected. About 13 teachers of the primary school have no accommodation. They trek from Bolga every morning. This is a difficult situation for school managers.
Because I am too big. Okay, like this. Because I am too big. Okay. Because I am too big. Okay.
This structure is to have housed the teachers, but it is not. It has been left to rot. Only 3 teachers have managed some space here. 2 of the rooms have been converted into KG classrooms. This is because the KG structure is almost falling. Pupils are no longer safe.
During the rainy season, we're almost living in a death trap. So due to that, our headmaster said, like, anything can happen at any time. So we have to move from here to the teachers' bungalow. When it rains, the place normally gets wet. When the children comes, some are compelled to move outside the classroom. So sometimes we will normally have the classes under trees.
But the converted classroom is not comfortable for teaching.
We are 2 in a class, and when one is taking the lesson, the other teacher is supposed to be supervising what the other teacher is teaching. So we find it difficult to move from one-to-one teaching, which is making our lessons not to be fully delivered.
The Ayompia school has a population of over 400. The district assembly says teachers' quarters built have not been maintained.
Government previously built some teacher quarters along the various communities. The problem has to do with the poor maintenance of those facilities. The European community, there's a teacher's quarters. If you go to Adeboya, there's a teacher's quarters. If you go to Swing, there's a teacher's quarters. So what we are doing at the moment is not to build teacher quarters or quarters for teachers. What we want to do is to take the task to renovate the existing ones. Because the European one, when we connected it to the national grid, teachers are staying there. Because they want to also enjoy some amenities, like their colleagues in the cities.
The Ayompia community is hoping to lobby for more attention to put education right on track.
And that's how we wrap up our mission segment this evening on News 360, brought to you by Star Ghana with support from UK Aid, Danida and the European Union. You can get more on our website. It's 3news.com. It's still live here on News 360. Coming up next is some news from the world of sports. Stay with us. News on the international front this evening. The Cold War is back with a vengeance. These were the words of UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres as he warned of the dangers of escalating war in Syria. He delivered his warnings at the opening of a UN Security Council meeting.
The Cold War is back with a vengeance, but with a difference. The mechanisms and the safeguards to manage the risks of escalation that existed in the past no longer seem to be present.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres urged countries to act responsibly in these dangerous circumstances. During the meeting, the Russian ambassador to the UN accused the US of using suspected criminal attack as a pretext to overthrow the Assad government and contain Russia. The US ambassador accused Syrian President Bashar al-Assad of using chemical weapons at least 50 times in 7 years, while France's ambassador said Syria had gone beyond the point of no return and France would shoulder its responsibility to end an intolerable threat to our collective security. The US and France have both said they have proved the Syrian government attacked the eastern Ghouta town last Saturday, but neither countries have officially given further details. Meanwhile, the US and its allies launched missile strikes against Syria on Saturday following a suspected chemical attack, an action which Russia, whose forces are there supporting the government, has said would risk starting a war.
And Professor Vladimir Nchidanso is an international relations expert and currently the Dean of Academic Affairs at the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College. Prof, good evening and thank you for joining us.
Good evening and thank you for having me too.
Right, for this coming from the Secretary General of the United Nations, this should be a cause for concern. The Cold War is back with vengeance.
Well, I think he was just stating the obvious. It's clear from 1992 onwards, and especially at the turn of the century, 2003, thereabouts, it was clear the Cold War never ended in the sense of ending, because the so-called unipolar thinking created a sense of Pax Americana, and so American movement and generally the West movement of NATO, especially to the East, created conditions for Russia to also assert itself. And that is when the Cold War resurged. And today, instead of the proxy wars that we had during the old Cold War, today we are having geopolitical wars. That the alliances are being formed and the arms races are on. So he was stating the obvious, that the Cold War is back in full swing. The only difference now is this, that if the old one showed us that we are all mad, that is mutually assured destruction from the Cuban crisis, this time it is unpredictable. Anything can just trigger a third world war.
Right, Professor. badminton. So we are grateful for your time. We'll find some more time and talk to you about this breaking issue. I'm sure there will be more concerns concerning how Africa will also be affected if the Cold War or this kind of war should escalate.
Certainly, Isa. And some more international news. Uganda's government has announced that it will accept some 500 Eritreans and Sudanese refugees from Israel. It follows speculation that some African countries had signed a deal to take in Africans being forcibly deported from Israel. You can get more on this news on our website. It's 3news.com.
And that's all time will allow for this edition of News 360. I am Isa Moni.
And I'm Natalie Force. Thanks so much for watching. Visit our website, 3news.com, for some more news. Have a lovely evening.